A warm welcome to all my students. Today we are going to study the topic on classical taxonomy and phylogeny. The code number of the topic is BOC 105. What I am going to deal today is Unit 1, Morphology of Angiosperms. Morphology of Angiosperms, definition and characteristics and functions. The outline of my topic is definition of angiosperms, characteristics of angiosperm, unique features of angiosperms, and morphology of angiosperms. What you are going to learn at the end of this session is, you are going to learn the definition of angiosperms, you are going to study the general characteristics of angiosperms, and you are going to understand the unique features of angiosperms along with definition and uses of morphology. Now I am going to introduce to you this topic on angiosperms, which is a very important topic. Angiosperms, as we see, are the seed plants or flowering plants, the largest, highly diversified and the most successful group of vegetation on earth. Till today, we have about 94% of the species of angiosperm as seen in 2017, and about 96% of species in angiosperms in 2020. You find they are supposed to be the highest evolved plants on the surface of the earth, and therefore they form the dominant group. You find them in every possible habitats and climates. You find them in lakes, you find these angiosperms in forests, or you find them as epiphytes. Why are the angiosperms the most diverse group? They are diverse because of their adaptive specialization in response to the great climate changes that take place. That means they adapt to every climate and every possible deviation that take place. Therefore, they are highly elaborate in their vegetative as well as floral features. Now, angiosperms may range from the smallest minute size as a pinhead, like how you see in the picture, that is Wolffia microscopica, to extremely huge trees which grow about 300 feet in height, like the giant sequoias. We have the picture at the extreme end. And in between we may have the grasses which are intermediates. Depending upon the height, angiosperms may be classified as herbs, which are the smallest in height, shrubs in the intermediate, and we have the huge trees, and those that require support we call them as climbers. Now, what is the definition of angiosperms? According to Ames, 1961, angiosperms in Greek means vessel seeds, that is plants bearing seeds which are born within the ovary. So the word vessel seed is very, very important when we define angiosperms. The group of flowering plants whose seeds are enclosed within the carpel or ovary and stem bears vessels. When I say vessels, it means xylem and phloem. So when we define angiosperms, very important to take note that they are flowering plants, seeds enclosed in ovary, and stem bears vessels. Now, the root system consists of the root and its lateral branches. The shoot system has a stem, a system of branches and leaves. Root, stem and leaves together constitute the vegetative organs of the plant body. They do not take part in the process of reproduction. So, the main plant, when we see the characteristics of angiosperms we are going to study today, the main plant is a sporophyte. When I say sporophyte, it means it is coming from the male and the female gamete, which forms into 2 in number, that is a seed. From the seed we have the roots, the stem and the leaves. So the whole plant is a sporophyte. Then second point, the flowering plants on attaining maturity, they produce flowers, they produce fruits and seeds, and all these are the reproductive organs of the plant. The third point is, the reproductive part of the angiosperm is a complex structure called as a flower, We know that the whole plant is a sporophyte. So the gametophyte is inside into this flower. So it is a reproductive part, and it is made up of the male and the female reproductive organs. The male reproductive organ is called as the androecium, and it is made up of stamens. And again, stamens are made up of filament and anther. Female reproductive organ is a gynoecium. It is made up of carpel. And what is carpel? Carpel is stigma, style and ovary. Now these show well developed vascular tissue. This is the fourth point, where xylem with true vessels, and vessels are thickened, sclerified, petered, annular and reticulate. Now what are vessels? Vessels are tissues which help in conduction of water. So they conduct water from the tip of the root and supply to the tip of the plant. So they are like the pipelines which is supplied at our homes. So they are tubes which are consisting of thickened structures. Why? Because the water conduction through these pipelines may cause damage to them. So they are protected by these thickenings. Then we have the other type of vessels. We have the phloem. Phloem are conducting food material which is prepared from the leaves to the different parts of the plant. So they are not as stronger as that of xylem. And they are made up of sieve tubes, and they have also sieve plates, and they are supported by companion cells. As you see in the picture, you can see the sieve tubes. The fifth point is the ovules are always enclosed in an ovary. The ovules turn into seeds and ovary into fruit. What do we mean by that? We say always, this is a very characteristics of the definition of angiosperms, where we find the seeds are always inside into the fruit. They are not outside. So the seeds are formed from ovules, which is a female reproductive organ after fertilization. And the whole ovary becomes into fruit. Therefore, you find seeds inside the fruit. The main plant is heterosporous. What do we mean by the word heterosporous? Hetero means different type of spores. Which are the two types of spores that are present here? There are two types of spores that are microspores or pollen grains. We say are the male gametes. And the second type are the megaspores or the female gamete. The female gametes are present as ovules and male gametes as pollen grains. Pollination consists of transfer of pollens from anther to the stigma. And the eighth point is production of required gametophyte, which is entirely parasitic on the sporophyte. The phenomena of double fertilization and triple fusion is a characteristic feature of angiosperms. Now what do we mean by double fertilization? Double fertilization involves when a pollen, when it falls onto the stigma, the pollen tube is formed, and this pollen tube will give rise to two gametes. So you will find two gametes that are formed are the male gametes. You can see in the picture. These two gametes, one will fertilize the female gamete, that is the egg nuclei, and the other one will fertilize the pollen nuclei. So since there are two fertilizations, we call it as double fertilization. And what is triple fusion? Triple fusion, you will find there are two polar cells which are there in the center. So one of the male nuclei fuses with the polar nuclei and forms the second fertilization. And since there are three cells which are involved, we call it as triple fusion. As a result of fusion of egg and male nuclei, we get the zygote or the small baby seed that is formed from this plant. And as a result of triple fusion, we get what is endosperm. So the triple fusion which gives rise to endosperm after fertilization is also a characteristic feature. So you can see here the embryo surrounded by endosperm, which helps in nourishment of the growing embryo. What are the unique features now of the angiosperms? You have already studied the characters, so we will see these are the unique ones only for the angiosperms. where ovules enclosed in an ovary, presence of true vessels, that is xylem, and sieve tubes in companion cells in phloem, presence of a complex reproductive structure, the flower, occurrence of double fertilization and triple fusion, and the presence of reduced male and female gamete, which is only in the form of pollen grain and ovule, on which is growing onto the sporophyte. And finally, the germination of pollen grains on stigma. These are the 6 very important unique features of angiosperms. Now briefly I am going to tell you about the morphology, because in the following units you will be studying about morphology and in detail about all these morphological structures. Morphology is a branch of biology that deals with form, size and structure of various organs of the living organism. So we know that each and every living organism has a definite form. So when I say morphology, it means study of the external structure of the morphology, external feature. How one person is different from the other can be known from the external morphology. Same way, one plant or one part of the plant to the next one. Now what is the function of morphology? It helps us to identify, distinguish living organisms. So you can identify one from the other on the basis of morphology. Also it helps in other fields such as genetics, genetic engineering, horticulture, crop protection, etc. So therefore, you will be studying in the following units in detail about the modifications and functions of different parts of the plant. We know the different parts of the plant are roots, stem, leaves, flowers and fruits. So they are modified, or they may not be same in all the plants. You will find them, they may function for storage of food, for mechanical support or respiration in case of roots. Stem may form storage for food. Also you will find for vegetative propagation and protection. Leaf may be modified for photosynthesis. Sometimes it is modified into tendrils or spines, or may show marked variation in shape. The margin of the leaf may be different, the apex of the leaf may be different, and the lamina. The flower may be modified for reproduction and show different types of sepals, petals, ovule arrangement and different inflorescence. And fruit varies in shape, size, structure and viability. So these are the things which we will be studying in detail in the next module. The references for this, we can refer to Pandey and there are 2 Pandeys here. You can see the references, and thank you.